Hey, my name is Mohan, I'm the CMO of Naron.
My name is Luca, and I'm the CEO of Naron.
Luca, there's a lot of confusion out there today between what is an AI automation and what is an AI agent. So let's break that down in this video. Let's go into the trade-offs, the qualities, and when you should use either one of them within your business.
So today, a lot of the times, AI agents are being sold, but actually under the hood, there's just a bunch of AI automations. And so the really important thing to understand is you'll use an AI automation the same way that you used to use automations back in the day, some processes that are happening behind the hood, some background stuff that is happening without you knowing. And the actual AI piece is just one node or one task in the entire workflow that has a little bit of intelligence. So it could be, hey, invoice comes in, you need an AI model to just process the invoice, and then it carries on throughout its automation journey. Whereas an AI agent will be responsible from the very beginning all the way to the end. And if we look here, we can actually see the distinction between both of them. The first workflow here on the left side, we can actually see that as defined final steps. Right? So you have step number 1, invoice comes in, step number 2, AI processes it, and so on. Whereas for an AI agent, it's actually more of a thinking loop. An AI agent will receive a goal. It will then think about what steps should be part of this workflow for me to achieve that goal. And today it could choose 3 steps, tomorrow it could choose 5 steps, depending on what the inputs and what the outputs are. And then it'll come to an agreement of what's the next step that I should take, and I'll kind of go on through that journey. It is very important to note it is a thinking process throughout the entire process, not just one node like how it would be in an AI automation, for example.
Okay, let's talk about the role of the user or the human. What is their role when it comes to an AI workflow, and what is their role when it comes to an AI agent?
If we look over here on the left side, it's again looking at the workflow or looking at the automation. It's very important that the human defines what the logic is of the entire automation, no matter what steps they're looking at. There's no shortcuts that the human can take. It kind of needs to define every single thing. And so you need to design this up front, and then you need to embed it in whatever software you have that runs these automations. Whereas with an agent, you're actually just defining roughly the end outcome and some really good prompts on like what the particular steps could be and how to approach different cases when they arise. Whereas the interesting thing is you don't need to define all of the details when you're working with an AI agent. The AI agent will be able to kind of decide for itself what it needs to do.
By reasoning.
Of course.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's expand on the concept of nodes, because in an AI workflow, an LLM is still working, correct? It's just within a larger system with more constraints.
Of course. So when we look at a node, it's really just one piece of the entire puzzle that's happening, right? So if we look at a workflow up here in the top, we'll see that there's one node that fetches the data. There's another node that classifies the data, and that could be an AI node. Right? You could use the same model, and by the way, same model applies, the same intelligence, same logic, same reasoning, everything applies. And then part of that workflow is that it would save to a database, for example. Super simple use case, essentially what an AI automation would be able to do. However, for the AI agent is responsible for all the nodes. No matter if it's a simple node where it's just fetching the data and passing off the data, or that complex node that requires some judgment, for example. Now, where this can go wrong is that the AI agent decides to have nodes that are not important, or misses out on a node that is important. This kind of like deterministic nature of AI agents is very hard to do. And that's why when working with AI agents, you really need to have somebody that understands how and when AI agents need certain information and what they're good at and what they're not good at. It's a lot of the work that we do here at Naron.
To wrap up the video, let's just go through a very brief diagram on what the actual trade-offs are between the two.
So the strengths of the workflow is that it's deterministic, it's able to be debugged quite easily, you're able to understand what node is causing the issue, and it can be quite cheap to run, right? However, that rigidity comes off as a weakness at times, especially when you have a concept that can go wrong in many different cases. So if you had a coding problem to solve, you definitely don't want an AI automation to fix. You want an AI agent to fix because it can go in probably an infinite amount of ways. And so the opposite is true for an AI agent. Its strengths are that it's flexible and it's able to solve these very complex problems and workflows that change quite frequently. But its weakness is that it's unpredictable. So perhaps it costs a little bit more to set up and configure. Perhaps it's a little bit harder to debug. But once you get it to work right, it can actually give you a substantial amount of return compared to AI automations.
And of course, this is a very concise video, just distinguishing between the two things. In a future video, we'll go more in depth on the actual use cases. For the time being, guys, you can subscribe to our newsletter, links down in the description below. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. We're very active on a day-to-day basis. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.